8 metal cups close at once. A tube punches up through the base of each orange. The juice drops out the bottom, and the whole thing resets. About 100 times a minute. That's 800 oranges gone in 60 seconds from one machine. Pour yourself a glass tomorrow morning. 3 or 4 oranges went into it. The big carton in the fridge door is closer to 2 dozen. Now picture a plant running banks of those machines, and 2 questions start nagging. The first one is mechanical. Squeeze an orange hard enough and you crush the peel with it, and peel oil is bitter. So how do you take 800 a minute apart without wrecking the taste? The second one is stranger. Oranges have a season. Florida picks roughly October to June. Brazil works the opposite half of the year. So why does the carton taste exactly the same in March as it does in November? Let's go find out. Most people picture Florida, sunshine and groves and that little cartoon orange on the carton. Florida is barely in this story anymore. At its peak in 1998, the state produced 244 million boxes of oranges. The forecast for the 2025-26 season is around 12 million. That is the smallest orange crop Florida has had since 1930. What happened was a bacterial disease called huanglongbing, citrus greening. It travels tree to tree inside an insect about the size of a grain of rice, and something like 80% of Florida's citrus trees are now infected. Hurricanes took out more. Growers pulled the dead groves, and a lot of them never replanted. So the center of gravity moved south, way south. São Paulo State in Brazil now anchors the world's supply, and reporting suggests more than half the juice sold by the big brands traces back there. The fruit going into it isn't the fruit you'd eat. 2 varieties do most of the work. Hamlin comes in early, Valencia comes in late, and nobody is picking either one for looks. A grower is watching a single number, sugar against acid. Industry practice puts the floor around 10% sugar before fruit is worth juicing, which is why a bruised orange is fine here. It's going through a press either way. And here's something that will ruin a supermarket habit for you. A ripe orange can be green. Peel color has almost nothing to do with whether the fruit inside is ready. It tracks night temperature. Cold nights turn the skin orange. Warm nights can turn it back. Green ones can be just as sweet. Now those 2 varieties ripen months apart, deliberately. Hamlin covers one stretch, Valencia covers the next. And Brazil's whole calendar runs opposite to Florida's. So that's the answer, right? Different varieties, different hemispheres. Somebody is always harvesting. Hold that thought. Picking starts with a machine that looks like it's attacking the tree. A canopy shaker drives down the row, takes hold of the branches and vibrates hard enough to snap the stems, and the fruit rains down onto a conveyor running alongside. Manufacturers rate these things at around 2 tons of fruit a minute. The oranges get tipped into open trailers. One trailer holds somewhere in the region of 120,000 oranges. Then it drives to the plant. There, the fruit gets washed and sorted by diameter, because the extractor cups come in fixed sizes and an orange that doesn't fit its cup leaves juice behind. Then the fruit rolls across a bed of fine pins. They puncture the peel. Barely. There's a reason for that, and I'll come back to it in about a minute. Now the machine everyone comes to see. The inline extractor is one of those designs that looks obvious once you've watched it and impossible before. 2 sets of metal cups face each other, fingers interlocking. An orange drops in. The cups close. And as they close, a sharpened tube punches straight up through the bottom of the fruit. The peel gets crushed inward from every direction at once. And because the only way out is that tube, the juice goes down through the middle while the peel and its oil are forced outward, away from it. The juice never touches the bitter part. That's your first question answered. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers designated this design an engineering landmark, which for a fruit juicer is a strange and deserved honor. One model, the 191B, runs 8 cups at roughly 100 strokes a minute, 800 oranges. That's the number from the top of the video. Some plants run a different design entirely. The fruit drops onto a ring of metal prongs, a press comes down from above, and the whole orange gets crushed through the prongs in one movement. Juice out through the bottom, peel and pith held back. Same problem, different mechanical answer, and you'll find both approaches running in the same industry. Remember the pins? Here's what they were for. Those pin pricks let the peel oil bleed out before the fruit was ever squeezed. It gets collected, spun in a centrifuge until it's almost pure, and sold. Hold on to that, because it comes back twice more before we're done. Downstream, a finisher pulls the pulp out of the juice. Some of it goes back in later. Who gets it is a decision made much further along the line. Then batches get blended against each other to hit a target ratio of sugar to acid, so what leaves this stage is consistent before it's stored anywhere. Last step here is pasteurization. Heat it briefly, chill it fast, kill what would otherwise spoil it. That process has a name attached to it. Anthony Rossi, an Italian immigrant who founded Tropicana in Bradenton, Florida in 1947, developed flash pasteurization for juice in 1954. Before him, if you wanted orange juice in America, you mostly bought it frozen in a can. Heating juice keeps it safe. It also costs it something. Back to that second question. 2 varieties, staggered harvests, 2 hemispheres working opposite shifts. Somebody somewhere is always picking oranges. That's true, it's also not enough. Rotation explains how juice is available in March. It doesn't explain why the carton you buy in March tastes identical to the one you bought in November. Same brand, same sweetness. Fruit doesn't behave like that. 2 harvests off 1 tree don't match. Never mind 2 harvests from 2 continents. What closes that gap isn't a grove, it's a tank. After pasteurizing, juice headed for the not-from-concentrate shelf goes through deaeration. The oxygen gets stripped out of it, and without oxygen it keeps. So it sits in bulk aseptic tanks for months, sometimes up to about a year, bridging one hemisphere's harvest across to the next. Here's the trade. The compounds that make orange juice smell like orange juice are volatile. Strip the oxygen, hold it that long, and much of the aroma leaves with it. What comes out of the tank is safe, and it's real juice, and it's flat. So flavor is added back at the end. The industry calls them flavor packs, built from orange essence and peel oils recovered from the fruit itself. Those pinpricks, way back at the start. Fragrance houses do the blending. It's the same expertise that goes into perfume. That's why every brand tastes like itself all year round, and why brands taste different from each other at all. Now the label, not from concentrate, is accurate. Nothing was boiled down and watered back up, but read it for what it doesn't say. It tells you nothing about how long the juice sat in a tank, and nothing about aroma being added back at the end. Go and look at your carton after this, and before anyone gets upset about it, the compounds involved occur naturally in orange juice, and chemists have been pointing that out for years. Plenty of producers skip add back altogether. Call it the cost of wanting a seasonal crop to behave like a year-round product. The juice still has to reach you, though. And for most of it, there's an ocean in the way. From the inland plants, juice moves to the coast by road tanker, insulated stainless steel, running more or less continuously. Around 91% of Brazil's juice exports funnel through the port of Santos into 3 terminals built for one job. Moving liquid in bulk. 2 of them, Citrasuco and Louis Dreyfus, sit inside the organized port area on one bank of the estuary. Cutral runs its own private terminal on the other. Between them, they handle something in the region of 4 million tons. And then there are the ships that carry nothing but orange juice. Purpose-built tankers with insulated stainless holds, running Brazil to Europe and Brazil to the United States, doing basically nothing else. Citrasuco runs 5 of them, plus a multi-cargo vessel. Atlanship operates a fleet of 8, some rigged for not from concentrate, some for frozen concentrate. There is a category of ocean freight that exists for breakfast. The juice crosses, chilled and sealed, and arrives at another tank farm on another continent. Then it gets blended. Sit with that for a second. Juice that was fruit on a tree in Sao Paulo months ago, waiting to be matched against juice from a different harvest until the blend hits the number the brand has committed to. Which brings back the pulp. Remember the finisher pulling it out? This is where it goes back in, and how much goes back is deliberate. Off one tank, a plant will run a no-pulp batch, a some pulp batch, and a high pulp batch, and the only difference is somebody dialing in a number. So settle this in the comments, because I don't understand the people who disagree with me. Pulp or no pulp? After that, the packaging line is the least surprising part of the whole operation, which doesn't make it slow. Bottles start life as stubby plastic preforms that get heated and blown out to full size on the spot, seconds before they're filled. The juice goes in hot, the cap goes on, and cameras check every bottle for leaks and bad seals. Labels go on, pallets get wrapped, refrigerated trucks take them away. So it reaches the shelf, you buy it, and that's the story finished. Except the juice was only ever part of what that factory sells. Peel and pulp get dried and pressed into pellets, and those pellets are a traded commodity in their own right. Citrus pulp pellets move around the world by the shipload as cattle feed, bought and sold like any other bulk agricultural product. Pectin comes out of the same material. That's the setting agent in jam, and the peel gives up D-limonene, a solvent good enough at cutting grease and killing microbes that it ends up in cleaning products, which means the orange in your glass and the citrus spray under your kitchen sink can come off the same line, from the same fruit on the same day. There's one more thing peel can do, and it's the strangest story in this business. In the late 1990s, a Costa Rican juice producer called Del Oro made a deal. Donate a piece of forested land to the conservation area next door, and in exchange, dump its waste peel on a stretch of ruined cattle pasture nearby. Around 1,000 truckloads went out, 12,000 tons of peel on dead ground. Then a rival juice company sued, arguing the national park had been defiled. Costa Rica's Supreme Court agreed with them. The experiment stopped, and the site was more or less forgotten about. 16 years later, a research team went back to look. They found the treated plot carried about 176% more above-ground biomass than the untouched land beside it. Richer soil, more tree species, a canopy closed over ground that had been bare. They published it in the journal Restoration Ecology. Orange peel grew a forest. Nobody meant it to. So, 800 oranges a minute, tank farms holding months of breakfast, a fleet of ships that exist for one drink, and a forest that came out of a waste heap. The tank is the part I'd want to know about. So tell me, now that you know what happens between the grove and the glass, does it change what you buy? Or does it not bother you in the slightest? I suspect that one splits the comments badly. One last thing, plenty of industries share that obsession with making every serving taste identical no matter the season. There's a tea chain that has built around 7,000 stores on solving the same puzzle, and they went at it a completely different way. That one's on screen now.